Today's stories include Beyond Two Souls is getting adapted to TV, Simu Liu is trying to make the Sleeping Dogs movie happen, and Summer Game Fest 2025 officially reveals some details. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up and welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, January 30th, 2025. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes, returning from my eternal slumber of sickness the last couple days. I am so happy to be back on Kinda Funny Games Daily with Blessing Adeoye Jr.
I was just thinking, like, man, it feels like it's been a minute since I've hosted KFGD with you.
It has.
Welcome back.
Thank you. And I'm very happy to be back. There's been a lot I want to talk to you about, Bless. A lot I want to hear about when it comes to video game news. I feel like it's been a big couple days.
I think it's been a big January.
Yeah.
This whole month, I feel like it's been lit, man.
Just boom, boom,
Stuff's
boom.
been happening.
Yeah,
you know? Xbox been having developer directs. Switch 2s have been revealed. Like
the Switch 2 has been revealed, everybody. Like,
we
it's
live in
actually
a
happening.
Switch 2 reveal world.
Man, and every day we're counting down to that April 2nd date.
Here's the thing. Everybody cherish this time because there's not going to be another time like this, right? We're in between the hardware reveal and the software lineup reveal.
Yeah.
Like how? Like
it's special. It's special.
Cherish this time because you're not gonna get this often. This only happens once every like 7 years.
It's funny because for the last 2 years, if not more, oh, Switch Pro, oh, Switch 2, when's it coming? Oh, it's leaked here. Oh, it's gonna happen here. Oh, maybe here. All that stuff. And here we are with an actual date to look forward to of when we're getting answers.
Oh yeah.
That to me is the most exciting thing. It's that we know that answers are coming and we know that they're gonna be good. There might be some weird ones. There will be some weird ones.
There will be some weird ones.
But like,
you know what? You're right. We know that they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Because even last time when they did this, the presentation was bad.
Yeah.
But the answers were still good. The results were still good.
Yes,
you know, we're going to get our
exactly.
3D Mario. We're going to get. Nintendo has found the rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
They've found and they've had the formula for generations now. But like some of those generations better than others. But you know what you're gonna get.
They're locked in, man.
3D Mario. 2D Mario. Mario's my new thing for 2025.
Oh, I hate it.
I know a lot of people do. A lot of people hate it. Roger, you should like that because that's New York.
That's generalization.
New
Come
York.
on.
That's
I mean,
New York.
honestly, you're right. I know a lot of Marios, and they say
You know a lot-
Mario.
We're walking here. That's what they all sound like over there. We're walking here.
Yeah,
That's my buddy Mario.
They're always walking.
This is my buddy Luigi. He gets shit done.
Oh my God.
Oh, like Mario Luigi.
Yes, yeah, of course,
Oh,
of course.
okay.
Yes.
Different New York.
Shit
Mario.
done. Oh my God. Speaking of getting shit done, Bless.
Yeah.
A couple days ago, I was bedridden. Looking at Twitter, I'm like, Twitter, give me some good stuff. Please give me something good. And Harada tweets, you know, Mr. Tekken himself tweets something that caught my eye. And it caught my eye because it had a screenshot that he was quote tweeting of an old like video game magazine article that I remember looking at here that was Itagaki, Ninja Gaiden, Dead or Alive, right?
Yep.
Creator. For OneUp.com, putting out a list, which was formerly EGM, put out a list of his top 5 most hated games in no particular order. At number 1, Tekken, hate. Number 2, Tekken, hate. Number 3, Tekken 3, hate. Number 4, Tekken 4, hate. And number 5, I can no longer figure out what the hell they're trying to do with the numbering, and I don't know which one is which. I don't know what they're trying to do with all of it, with all these spin-offs, so it includes Nina Death by Degrees as well.
Okay.
I don't think this needs saying, but people should stay away from Tekken. Nothing left to say. I just don't want them to disappoint me anymore. It's so annoying. Please don't annoy me anymore.
2 things I'll say about this. One, fair when it comes to Tekken 4. Secondly, why are you throwing shade at Death by Degrees? I had that demo on a demo disc. That shit fucked, man. They had a sniper. You could like hit people's limbs and you would see their bones break. That was the first time I experienced that in a video game.
Yeah.
And that shit was cool. I don't like the Death by Degrees hate, and also the Tekken hate in general.
But I mean, like,
what's Itagaki's beef here?
How funny, Dead or Alive? He was the rival fighting games, right? And so it's like when this kid, I remember seeing this and just being like, well, this is kind of wild. You know, like imagine Phil Spencer coming out and then doing this about PlayStation games.
Yeah,
right. Like
comes out like God of War,
yeah,
whack.
It's
Spider-Man,
100%.
whack.
It's like,
Days
what?
Gone, whack. And we're like, all right, you might be fair on one of those, but like, come on.
Damn, Les. So evidence of this was when he was friends with Itagaki from Dead or Alive that literally had this printed in no particular order. So it's like they're joking here of like, well, clearly they're having fun.
Yeah.
Clearly this is like a, you know, boys being boys type situation of like, we're giving each other some nice little ribs, all that.
Yeah.
What if I told you that wasn't the case?
Like
And we're now
he
learning
was
about
actually
that.
hating?
We're learning about that now. I want to read just the beginning part of this from Harada, the Tekken side. I'm not sure how you perceive my relationship with Mr. Itagaki, but I can tell you it's likely different from what you imagine. Let me provide a general overview and some key topics regarding my history with Mr. Itagaki. However, consider this a warning. What follows is, and then you can hit show more, and he wrote
Jesus.
the longest tweet I have ever seen, and I was captivated. Bless.
Dude, you sent this to the KFGD Slack a few days ago, and I did my thing where I came into work, right? I'll come in around 9 usually. I have like an hour to prep KFGD, and I go through the Slacks in the KFGD Slack, just like naturally add them to the show. And I clicked into this one. I started scrolling, and I was like, I don't think I can read this by the time KFGD starts, dude. This is a long post.
So I'm just going to say, I'm going to put this out there as a required reading. And really, I'm just letting you know it's worth it. It is just such a fun read. And like, it's fun. It's informative. It's very interesting to get this type of look into games in the late 90s, early 2000s, and how big the rise and fall and re-rise of fighting games, and like just context of all of that with two of the biggest personalities in terms of developing the games. Fascinating stuff. But just a little tease of it for you, Les, it is just pro wrestling industry drama. Like, it is just such shit where like there was legit beef that turned into legit friendship, but it never had a clear turning point. And it was like, it goes back to the rivalry between Tekken and Dead or Alive, two of the first 3D fighters, right? And they fought through the transition from arcade to home console and what all that meant, and the death of arcades and all of that. And they thought, or Harada thought that Itagaki hated him. And thought that there was like real beef. And there was one time where he had Harada come and like play a test of, I think, Dead or Alive 2. And he had him hold the sticks, hit like 1 or 2 buttons, and he goes, "What'd you think?" And Harada's like, in his mind, he's like, I don't have enough, like, does it feel good? Like, I don't even know. Like, I haven't had enough time to play. And he's like, "Oh yeah, it feels great."
Interesting.
And Itagaki just goes, "Cool." And then he later finds out that Itagaki then took that information to the dev team and was like, "We have beat Tekken."
That's awesome. That's awesome. Because now I want to know, the kind of man Itagaki is. Like, I want to see this man in action.
And they go on to explain that in their later lives, they had conversations, and Itagaki was straight up like, "I realized this is how we market to a Western world. Have some beef. Get some competition going." And it was very not how Japan did things. And so there was a lot of things that got in between all of this. But like, read this. It is fascinating.
I love that. I'm definitely going to check this out. Do they mention Virtual Fighter at all? Because I'm surprised. Like, not that I'm surprised that this was like the back and forth, but I would have figured that Virtual Fighter would factor heavy into this.
It does. Okay. Yeah. It's God, man.
I can't wait to read this then.
Woo, fun stuff. But hey, everybody, you can check that out on your own time, because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy video game news that you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, and now Spotify and Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of the show, you can submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. A little housekeeping for you. Kind of Funny best friends, you can grab your Jedi robes and lightsabers one more time. Because this Friday, Andy Cortez and your boy, Tim Geddes, are going to try to beat Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles in one sitting. Live on stream. With your help, we'll make them suffer through this unforgettable experience. Also, word around the cantina is that your favorite Kylo Ren will be there with Star Wars karaoke, and Jabba the Prize Hut will have anniversary stream updates throughout. Don't miss it.
Who do you think those are?
I have a feeling it's Nick and Mike.
Yeah.
Jabba the Prize Hut. Ew.
Yuck.
And yeah, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a longer stream on Friday. I'm very excited. I'm not often on streams. But I'm very excited to hang out with Andy Cortez to play through this game.
Are you a Jedi Power Battles person?
Jedi Power Battles is one of my favorite video games of all time.
What? Okay.
It is one of the worst games of all time.
Interesting.
It's bad, you guys.
I must have heard you talk about it, but I didn't realize like your affinity for it.
Jedi Power Battles was it was one of those sicko mode games for me and my friends, including Cool Greg. It would be me, Cool Greg. We'd go over to my friend Riley, who lived across the street. He shit his pants a lot.
At what age?
It's way too old.
No.
He had some type of, I don't know what's going on with him. He had a whole thing, but yeah, because like he had an older brother, Joseph, that was like closer to my age, and then his younger brother, Riley, which was like 2 years younger than Cool Greg. So he was at the time getting down there. He was like the young kid in the neighborhood, but like, yo, dude, keep it in your butt, man. Like,
keep it. Listen, I hear you.
You know?
Get
but
the
anyway,
camera off on one.
we would all play Jedi Power Battles together, and it, 2-player co-op. And have you played Jedi Power Battles?
Actually, no.
It goes through the entirety of the story of episode 1, but you get to choose of 5 different Jedi. Of course, you got Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi because they're the main ones from the movie. But then you also got like some of the other motherfuckers that were in the Jedi Council that you're like, who the fuck's Kiadi Mundi? Who's Plo Koon? You know? Well,
those are made up names,
you're about to
right?
learn.
And they also added.
And now
Jar
they
Jar
added Jar Jar Binks. Yeah.
I did hear about that.
Yeah.
Big
So
deal.
it's kind of like a semi-isometric 3D like Streets of Rage type game, but on PlayStation, so it's bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And but it also had RPG elements like PS1 style, where it's like there's leveling. You can get up to level 99, and you'll be fucking damned if all 5 of my characters weren't level 99 back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Your boy was grinding, okay?
Man.
Yeah, this is what me and Andy are gonna do for hours on Friday.
Has Andy played Jedi Power Battles?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so he knows what he's getting into here.
Oh yeah, he knows.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Anyway, we're gonna have a blast, an absolute blast.
Looking forward to that.
Remember, we're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. Today, after Games Daily, you're going to get GAMESCAST, which is our Citizen Sleeper 2 review. Very cool. After that is a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man screencast. Me and Nick Scarpino are going to sit down and tell you all of our thoughts about Disney Plus's latest, which I'm just going to tell you right now, Bless.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about this show?
I've only heard that the actor for Peter Parker. Oh, man.
One of the biggest fumbles I think we've ever seen. Disney Plus has a actually good Spider-Man show, and its lead comes out and says the dumbest shit that is antithetical to what the show is.
Here's the thing. We're right now, after Tom Holland, we are 0 for 3 with Spider-Man leads, man.
It's not going well.
The Spider-Man leads are taking L after L.
But man, this might tank this show. Like the fact that what do you know about the show and all you know is this?
Yeah.
It's like, that's bad. Because it is like, after 2 episodes, I'm like, this might be the wokest Spider-Man show ever.
Which is funny because he said the opposite.
I know. Oh my God, it's so bad. Whatever. Anyways, check out our thoughts on the screencast. The stream after that will be the new Sniper Elite with Mike and Nick. Something tells me Roger's going to get involved in that. Roger, are you a Sniper Elite sicko?
So I am.
I knew it.
I did play a little bit of this one, and I was playing it. I'm like, yeah, it's the other Sniper Elite games. It's just the same thing, which is not a bad thing, but they're gonna have a good time. I was like, I don't know.
Also, I do want to clarify. Tom Holland is good. I'm saying after
him.
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
I love Tom Holland.
Yeah. So far, Tom Holland is like peak.
Oh man,
He's like, his beer is good.
Like
Fake beer.
10 years from now, actually, I don't want to compare people to people because I was going to say they're going to be the new Jay-Z, Beyonce. I'm not even going to say that.
Let's not even go there. Yeah,
I'm not going to go. But like, they're going to be they're the it couple.
I get it.
They're the ones.
Bless. This is a game show, and we have a lot to talk about. There was some breaking news that we need to get to that's very, very like big. But before we do that, I need to tell you 2 things. I'm obsessed with 2 men right now, and 2 men only. Okay. Timothy Chalamet.
Oh yeah.
And Theo Vaughn. I love these
Oh,
guys.
dude. Wait, are you now? Are you new to the Theo Vaughn obsession train?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because I was there about a year ago. I was there too, and I still am. He just stopped popping up in my TikTok algorithm, but he's the funniest man of all time.
He's Louisiana Cool Greg. It's like
He's Louisiana Cool Greg somehow meets like Snowbike Mike at the same time too.
Oh my God, man, it's magic. And Timothy Chalamet, man, this fucking kid.
Did you see him rapping on SNL?
Yes.
He sounds like he was part of the Wu-Tang Clan.
I love it. I fucking love it. Anyways, enough about that. Story number 1. It's a breaking news story,
Wait, did we
everybody.
skip over the whole Roper Report jingle?
Oh, we did. I'm sorry. I got excited about Timothy Chalamet. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Delaney Twining and Carl Jacobs. Today, we're brought to you by Built Rewards and BetterHelp, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
Oh, Baker's dozen.
Story number 1. Forza Horizon 5 comes to PlayStation 5.
What?
In spring 2025.
We won.
We won.
We won. One of the greatest racing games of all time.
The Horizon Festival welcomes a new community of players. This comes from Playground Games website. With nearly 900 cars available in the game, over 40 thematic game updates, 2 expansions, and so much more content, our team's excited to announce that this spring, PS5 players will be able to explore Mexico's beautiful roads and experience the Horizon Festival for the first time. As we're officially launching Forza Horizon 5 on PS5. The PS5 version, developed by Panic Button in partnership with Turn 10 Studios and Playground Games, will have the same content as the Xbox and PC releases of the game. Previously released car packs, as well as the Hot Wheels and Rally Adventure expansions, will also be available for purchase. We're excited to see the Forza Horizon 5 community grow with new players on PS5, and we can't wait to see the creativity and skill these new creators, builders, and racers will bring to our vibrant community. Let's see what else we got here. In addition to the PS5 stuff, they're working on a special new free content update for all platforms, Horizon Realms. Realms will give players the chance to explore a curated collection of some of the community's favorite previously released evolving worlds. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Alongside some other surprises. Stay tuned to the channels for more. You can wishlist Forza on PS Store today, and it will be crossplay when it's available across Xbox, PC, and PS5.
Love that.
Look forward for more information.
I wish, man, if they said cross progression, which it wouldn't be, right? But like, if we got there where they're like, and you can take your Xbox progress over to PlayStation 5. Oh, let me tell you, I'm eating. Like, I'm living my best life. So I say we won, right? And the we can mean a lot of things.
Yes.
But what I ultimately mean here, Forza fans.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this game coming everywhere is going to be so good for Forza Horizon as a franchise. Already, like, I view it as one of the best things Xbox has every few years, right?
I mean, I think that we can view Forza Horizon 5 specifically at this point as one of the best things Xbox has, one of the best racing games, one of the bigger franchises, period. Like, it's substantial, right?
It's substantial. And if you're somebody who hasn't had the pleasure of checking out Forza Horizon because maybe you don't have like a PC that's capable, or maybe you don't have an Xbox, I am somebody who, when it comes to racing games, right, like Burnout 3 Takedown is probably my favorite of all time. Burnout 3 Paradise is another one, right? And like, you know, Paradise is special because it is this open world that you can get into, like, you know, car combat style racing type shit in, right? Like, you know, explore, have fun, find the shortcuts, play this fun arcade style game in this open world type thing, right? Forza Horizon does that, and Forza Horizon, I think, does that better than maybe any other racing game I've ever played before. It is, and this is me playing Forza Horizon dating back to Forza Horizon 3 on Xbox One, right? Like, this series has been fantastic for a while, and they've been able to build over the last couple of iterations of adding seasons, right? Finding new locations, of going from Australia to England to Mexico. And, like, they just nail everything. In terms of the world and environment, looks beautiful. I think they capture their locations very well. I'm very fascinated by what they might do as far as content, because like, I know Forza Horizon 4, I think, let you race against like the vehicles from Halo and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I do wonder.
Well, I mean, why? Like, why? Why do you wonder? Those days are over, bless.
Yeah, but it's gonna be really weird. And Chad, this might be a you're wrong of. Does Forza Horizon 5 have anything like that specifically? Because like, it is gonna be weird seeing a warthog, right, from Halo. Yeah, seeing a warthog on a PlayStation.
I mean, I think we're at the point that that's not weird, right? Like, even like you can do that now in Fortnite, right?
I guess that is true.
I don't know if Warthog specifically, but Chief's there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just crazy times, but we're in them. I feel like it's no longer a crazy potential future. It's like it's the now. And, you know, think about the conversations that have been happening in the last couple of days in terms of the numbers from Microsoft and looking at their strategy paying off. Now, I wasn't here for the conversations and I didn't get to listen to you guys, so I don't know what y'all said. Like, the reality is it's Call of Duty, no fucking shit. We understand this. Let's see about when it's not Call of Duty time how these numbers shake out. But I feel like no matter what, it's positive.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
actually
it's
a
a
new
win.
story today, talking about the Xbox numbers.
Okay, great.
If we want to shift around, we can take that into story number 1.
Okay, yeah, I think maybe that makes sense with combining it with this stuff too. Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot going on here, but like clearly this is good And wherever we're at, I think that the Forza being played by more players is only a good thing. This is an incredible game, and I think PS5 gamers are going to really dig it. I'm with you though about the cross save stuff though. We got to figure that shit out. We got to figure it out soon, because if this stuff's going to keep happening, like we got to figure out a way to like ease any of the like, but what about that?
Just take down the barriers.
Man. Yeah,
take down the walls.
Take them down, man.
Oh man, I'm so happy. I like Forza Horizon 5 is a must play.
Yeah,
like it is if you like racing games whatsoever, Forza Horizon 5 is a must play racing game.
And even if you don't like racing games, if you just like
open world
video
games, if you like video
exactly,
games,
like, there's something to this where I'm like, it is pick up and play. There's a lot of depth if you want there to be, but like it is just such a playable game. The amount of times I've seen Ben, Greg's son, play Forza, you know what I mean? Is he doing well? No. Is he having fun? Yes.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
So,
you know?
To the Xbox conversation, I can take care of story number 4, which we're going to do a rare KFGD jump forward in the show, just based on circumstances. Story number 4, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has been played by over 4 million players, Microsoft says. This is Tom Ivan at VGC. That is the lead, but there's also, I bundled in a bunch of Xbox number stuff here as well. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has attracted over 4 million players, according to Microsoft. The title was released on December 9th, 2024 for Xbox Series X and S and PC, and has also been available with Game Pass since launch. Some more Xbox numbers for you. Microsoft has reported a 7% revenue decline for its gaming division during its second fiscal quarter. The division generated $6.6 billion in revenue during the 3 months ended December 31st, 2024, which was down $530 million year over year. Which, to pause there, interesting. I didn't realize that Microsoft's fiscal year apparently starts in July, if that's their second fiscal quarter. Am I crazy? Am I off? Because it says second fiscal quarter, but it ends in December.
Yeah.
So either that's a typo and they mean third fiscal quarter, or Microsoft has a different fiscal year. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. I don't know which it actually is, but yeah, because most start
in April.
But not all though. So maybe Microsoft is different.
Yeah. Chat, you're wrong. Blessing is correct. So it is in July. They start in July. Well, now Joseph Grisby is saying, kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Somebody look it up. The decline was attributed to a 29% drop in Xbox hardware revenue, driven by a lower volume of consoles sold during the quarter. Nadella ran through the Xbox division's quarterly highlights during the company's earnings call. Quote, "We're focused on improving the profitability of the business in order to position it for long-term growth driven by higher margin content and platform services. And we are delivering on this plan," he said. Nadella claimed Black Ops 6 enjoyed a record-breaking launch quarter as it topped software sales on both Xbox and PlayStation. Quote, "We also continue to see strong momentum for Xbox cloud gaming with a record 140 million hours streamed this quarter," Nadella added. All up, Game Pass set a new quarterly record for revenue and grew its PC subscriber base by over 30% as we focus on driving fully paid subscribers.
I mean, look, these are good numbers. Everything's adding up. Again, it goes back to what I was saying. It's not a surprise because of Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
Like when you literally buy the highest performing game year after year after year, you're going to see high performance. Nobody's shocked, right? Mm-hmm. I am very interested to see what these numbers look like when it's not the Call of Duties, when it is the Forzas and the South of Midnights and the Avoweds and the et cetera, et cetera. Having said that, I just named a bunch of games and there's a bunch more. We are in such a good time for Xbox month to month to month looking at this year where I can't wait to see these number conversations a year from now about 2025. Because I do think that Xbox has the potential to really kind of break a lot of their own records and really push Game Pass in a way like they haven't before. That might not beat the Call of Duty months ever, but we'll have a Call of Duty month every year.
Yeah.
Right? So they still have that. But I do think that they're going to pull this off. What does that look like at the end? I don't know. But I think it's definitely a better step than where they were before. And at the end of the day, they're talking about the higher margin content and platform services. It's like, all right, cool. Like, higher margin content, like being on more platforms, getting more money for the games they're already making. Like, that's a good thing. And again, everybody kind of wins from that.
So talking about numbers, let's start with the lead here, right? Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has attracted over 4 million players. How does that hit for you?
It's nothing. These numbers like don't mean anything to me, honestly. Like I feel like when we're talking about, you need context for any number you ever get.
For sure.
And I feel like when we talk about Steam concurrence, when a multiplayer game drops, there's inherent context there because we understand what we're talking about. We know that we're talking about this is as big as it's going to get because it is the launch. And we can compare that to other similar games with similar launches. And is this a success? Let's look at it 3 weeks from now. Let's look at it 2 months from now. Like, do they still have an audience? Is this sustainable? Blah, blah, blah. When you add in, you can buy the game, you can play it on Game Pass or whatever, and you're just saying like 4 million players. It's like, all right, cool. I guess that is a number that we can compare to other numbers. I just find it a lot less interesting for the conversation than sold, you know, because like I think that with how kind of in the weeds we are about the numbers and the financing and like, was this a good decision or a bad decision? The discussions we have about what they do, I feel like this isn't enough information, so it's almost like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I take it in context of even more so mindshare. There was a conversation that me and Greg were having about Dragon Age: The Veilguard, because it was reported that they were underperforming for what EA's expectations were, because EA wanted to sell 3 million, ended up selling 1.5 million, which led me and Greg to a conversation of, do we see Avowed outperforming Dragon Age: The Veilguard in terms of players?
Yeah.
Right? Which obviously Game Pass is a factor, is a huge factor in terms of that, right? And when I look at these numbers for Indiana Jones, which I think are really good numbers actually, right? Like
very, very good. I mean, no matter what way, like that's the thing, again, in the context of that, it's like, yeah, 4 million people playing a
game
big game, awesome.
Is awesome, right? Now, Game Pass, like removed from it, that it becomes like oh shit, you sold 4 million this quickly. That's crazy. But even with Game Pass factored in, 4 million players is huge. You take that, apply it to Avowed, like I see, and this is more so, we said this yesterday, right? But doubling down on this, I see Avowed outperforming or outpacing, I think might be the better word, Dragon Age: The Veilguard because of Game Pass. But that is big when we're talking about the genre and we're talking about the mindshare of the genre of the more people we see, you know, falling in love with Avowed, playing Avowed, being exposed to Avowed, right? Like, I think that becomes more and more important when you're talking about, like, a franchise. When you're talking about putting out the next game, we're talking about Dragon Age: The Veilguard being, or Dragon Age as a franchise feeling dormant for long enough that it felt like it got lapped by The Witcher and Baldur's Gate 3 and other fantasy games coming through, right? I think this is like, the shift to see a game like this actually be successful, because without Game Pass, I look at Avowed and I'm like, all right, maybe you sell 1 million, like in the first through like month or so, right? But like here I'm looking at it, I'm like, Avowed could do 3 million in the first couple months, and that's gonna be great for it.
And outselling Dragon Age, right? Like that is a full price game. Like, you brought very, very good points there, Blast. Like I think you're absolutely right, and that's the right way to look at it, especially because we're in such a different time of games. Like it being 2025 with the amount of players we have now compared to what we had even 10, 15 years ago, and even just like the install bases of consoles and how different those are and how high game sales could possibly even get. Like Dragon Age, for example, as huge of a franchise as it is, it had the X amount of million players for those old games. And that's kind of its fan base. Then you can get people out of that, whatever. But now, if you can just kind of let even more people play, get millions more people invested in the IP, interested in the future of it all, there is inherent value there, even if it's not immediately financial. And I think that's the biggest thing here is that like the finances still have to add up. You know what I mean? Like if Game Pass is too cheap and they're not making enough money from it, but more people are playing, it's like, cool, you're getting more awareness, but at what cost? And I think that's what we're going to have to really look forward to in the future to see like how much this all actually pays off. But because it reminds me of like the way we do things here and sell things, like putting an ad in our shows equals a certain amount of views and listens and stuff that I sell. I can say, oh, but we get X amount of impressions on Twitter because Twitter video, their numbers are fucking insane because they count if anyone even scrolls past it.
Yeah.
That's cheating. You know what I mean? Like that's not raising awareness. That has no actual thing. So what, these 4 million players, what's that actually mean? You know?
Oh, you think like people just booting the game up?
That's what I'm saying. It's just like it's a interesting statistic. I just think that it is so broad that
that's fair.
It lacks too much context for it to really mean oh, we can have any realm of conversation around the 4 million versus the Dragon Age thing.
Yeah.
But we know that. We get that. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of like things there. I'm like, I don't trust that, you know?
Yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah, and to like kind of condense my point, right? Like, because I saw somebody chat that's like I don't follow, right? What I think I'm saying here more so is I think this will establish Avowed as an IP way stronger than if it weren't on Game Pass. And like I'm using the Dragon Age the Veilguard comparison to say, hey, here's an IP. Like here's a franchise that's been around for decades. And it came through, it sold 1.5 million. That was enough for EA as a AAA game to like be like, oh, this met our expectations. It didn't. Avowed, if Avowed comes out on Game Pass and it hits that 3 million player mark, guess what? Like, I think that's enough to go, oh, you got to make Avowed 2. We got to make Avowed 3, right? Like, you are starting it off on such a good foot. And, like, I think that's what you need nowadays when you are in such a highly competitive space. When you're talking about AAA games, when you're talking about just video games in general, of people's attention being everywhere, and when you're talking about fantasy RPGs and Avowed being along the likes of like a Baldur's Gate or a Witcher or like whatever other fantasy RPG you want to name, like giving Avowed that boost of Game Pass is going to do so much for it to start it off on that right foot. Now, the one more thing I want to bring, one more question I want to bring to you, Tim, in the numbers conversation, looping this back to Forza Horizon 5, how much do you see, if you had to predict, how much do you think Forza Horizon 5 sells on PlayStation?
See, that's the thing that I lack the context right now to be able to on the spot come up with the number that really makes sense.
Yeah.
But my answer is a lot.
I think it's going to do really well.
Like I don't know what really well means. Like I don't know if the number is 2 million, 3 million, or like 5 million, you know? But like I think that Forza Horizon, it being a little bit older of a title, I think kind of goes away from it. However, I do think that Forza is the type of thing that people that haven't played it are like, I don't care if it's Forza 4 or 5 or whatever. It's new to me. You know what I mean?
That's my thing is, I don't think there is a game like Forza Horizon 5 with that amount of quality of Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation, right? Like, when we're talking about open world, arcade racers, like, we can name some, right? Like, I played Need for Speed Unbound, a year or so ago.
It was fun.
And it was fun, but Forza Horizon 5 is special. Like, that's the difference. Yeah. And I think, like, I'm going to say a big statement, and it's going to be too big, but just so you understand like the level that I'm coming at it with, right? In the way that I think Helldivers 2 coming to PC did so much for those numbers of Helldivers 2, right? Like, we know that is the reason why Helldivers 2 ended up as PlayStation's fastest selling game of all time. I could see Forza Horizon 5 coming to PlayStation, and maybe not having it be the Helldivers 2 effect, but I think the PlayStation audience will take to Forza Horizon 5 because of the type of game it is, the kind of hole that it fills in the library, and the quality of that game. Like, I could see not a resurgence, but like, I guess a new surgence.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I think that is, yes, you're absolutely right. And I think that it's going to be so big on PlayStation that I think it might break records for.
I think, yeah.
Like, for a lot of metrics. I mean, the big question is, like, at what point is it going to be up there with Gran Turismo, which sells a lot of units, right? Again, we're just now talking about Xbox games being released on PlayStation. If we're just talking console side at this point, there are just so many more PlayStation 5s than there are Xbox Series in the world. That is a fact that is undebatable. We are now offering these games to that many more new people for the first time.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can take any game and just put it out there and it's an old game, it's going to sell well. But we've already seen Sea of Thieves do very well.
Yeah.
And if Sea of Thieves could do well, Forza, which again, anybody can pick up and play. This is going to be exciting, man.
I'm very excited for this.
One question I want to ask about this. Do you think that this is, because it's been 4 years since the last Forza game. Do you think this is leading up to, Horizon 6, that it's going to come out on Xbox exclusively in a few years? Or is it going to be day and date on PlayStation whenever that comes out? Because you would assume that comes out next year, right? Horizon 6? I
assume it's next year. And I would assume that it comes out day and date on PlayStation. I'm still of the mind that I'm surprised that South of Midnight is not day and date on PlayStation, and everything else they talked about during the developer direct is day and date. I think day and date's going to be the right move and the right strategy, and I think it's going to be clear as day to them when they start looking at the numbers. The numbers are already starting to speak, and I think that they're only going to get louder.
I agree that I think the numbers are going to speak to Xbox to go, yeah, we got to put this on PlayStation day and date. I do wonder when the next Forza Horizon is, because Playground is working on Fable currently.
That is a good call.
And so, like, do they have that amount of, like, that size of a team to be able to work on both at the same time? Does somebody else make a Forza Horizon?
They have to be. Like, it's been so long since Horizon 5. And, like, with the type of franchise it is. Wait, hold on. Because then we had Forza
Motorsport, which is a different dev. But did come out. Oh, man. Is Mike in the background? Mike's not in the background. I can look it up.
Anyways.
Yeah, I do wonder, like, if that does
Turn
fill
10?
that space.
Turn 10.
Turn 10,
That
thank
is
you.
right. Yeah. And they're saying people are saying Playground has at least 3 teams working under the name. So
okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe I could see it then.
Forza is big. Fable is big though for them. But anyway, we'll see. But yeah, long story short, I think it's gonna be day and day. What about you, Raj?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be day and day. Yeah, I think about like because remember, like there's always those rumors of like Gears Collection or whatever coming out on like multiple consoles, and that maybe lining up with an E-Day release to get people to go over on Xbox. But yeah, I could see them doing Forza Horizon 5 this year and then 6 day and date, just because it's gonna sell so fucking well. It's gonna sell so well.
I kind of feel like this year, with all the rumors that we've seen, and now that this stuff's started, I don't even remember if Forza was on that list of games talked about, but I think Forza, Halo Master Chief Collection, probably the Gears Collection, like I think we'll see all of those in the next year on PS5,
PlayStation.
Yeah,
Because
like why wouldn't we?
Yeah. I think the only thing as I can see is maybe they want to pace it out. Of like, give Forza its own moment, give Halo its own moment.
But I say next year,
even
meaning like I could see like Halo and then like maybe early next year getting Gears or something, like maybe flip those. Like I don't know, but Flight Sim being another one, Age of Mythology.
Man, here's the thing, right? If Forza Horizon 5 comes to Switch 2, you'll never see me again. You'll never see me again. I'm like just walking everywhere with a Switch in front of my face.
You gotta do it, man.
I'm racing.
He's racing, everybody.
Right
All right, we're gonna get to more stories after a quick word from our sponsors. This episode's brought to you by Built. If you're a renter, I'd start taking advantage of Built if I were you. Here's the thing. We earn points on groceries, travel, and practically everything else we buy. But we should also be earning points on rent, one of our biggest monthly expenses. Built changed the game by letting renters earn high-value points on rent and around their neighborhood. There's no cost to join Built, and as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Built points toward. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So, if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/kindafunny. That's joinbilt.com/kindafunny. Make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you there. Joinbuilt.com/kindafunny to start earning points on your rent payments today. This episode's brought to you by BetterHelp. What do you want your 2025 story to be? Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled in. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist, or maybe there's part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp, and they love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. And it serves over 5 million people worldwide. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny. We got a couple super chats here I want to get to. We just had to make a slash buster breaking the news of the Horizon Forza coming to PS5. So thank you. We're talking about that now. And then David N brings in something pretty interesting. Do you think Forza Horizon is just listed as quote unquote spring because it's coming to Switch 2 as well? Like, why not give the date now?
Well, like, we don't think the Switch 2 is coming in spring, right?
You're right. We don't.
Like, and I guess,
don't.
I mean, maybe, does Xbox know that the Switch 2 is coming in spring either, right? Like that's a weird one of, I'm fascinated by how all that works. Because question for you, Tim.
Yeah.
Right, Forza Horizon, right? It's being ported to other platforms. Maybe you want to, as Phil Spencer, you want to support what the Switch 2 is doing. As Nintendo, when you are going to third parties and going, hey, here's the Switch 2 build, like, you know, this is what we're doing, this is the timing of it, like, work your game. Do you keep that secret from Xbox? Do you go, oh, we're not giving this information to Xbox? Or do you go, well, they're making third-party stuff. Like, they put Minecraft on our platform.
I mean,
I don't know how that shit works.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point specifically, they have to be looking at Microsoft functionally as a third party.
Yeah. Because
of where we're at, right? Because that's what, like, that's how they're functioning at this point to Nintendo. So, yeah, I think that they would.
That
like,
would make sense then.
I feel like with PlayStation, it might be even a bit more of like a more future thing, but we've seen it already with Lego Horizons. Like that meetings had to happen there, right? It's a little different because they don't need dev kits out there for that. That was existing hardware. But yeah, I imagine when the moment that Microsoft got Activision, it's like, you know, that's a pretty major amount of games out there that Nintendo would want. So,
and you have to imagine Activision already knows that the Switch 2.
I mean, I also feel like we're acting like this is literally just person A and person B talking, and like that's how this all works.
Yeah.
The reality is, it's not just, oh, did Nintendo go to Xbox? It's, oh, I'm sure Xbox knows Nintendo's working on a new console. Their business guys talking to Nintendo's business guy of like, bro, we function as third party now. You know what I mean? Like, let's fucking talk.
Yeah.
Let's sell some units.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think the spring is maybe just. I think they're just keeping it loose. Like, I don't know. I don't connect it to Switch 2 for some reason. Even though I think it'll happen.
Me neither. And like, spring is a weird thing because like, doesn't summer start like end of June?
Yeah, like June 20.
Which is bullshit. Like, let's just fucking call it what it is. June is summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. And August is fall. Like, let's be real. August is fall, guys.
All right.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. But anyway, yeah, so that could be vague. But I don't think that these things are necessarily entwined. However, I think Forza Horizon coming to Switch makes sense.
Yeah.
So, hopefully. We're still in that hope zone, man. Like,
so while we're here, right? Speculation station. So Forza Horizon is coming to PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. Would you think that Forza Motorsport is not too far behind?
Yeah, but also, like, does Motorsport sell like Horizon does?
Well, that's a good question. Well, it's funny because somebody in chat was like, when we were trying to think of the developer of Forza Motorsport, they were like, Forza Motorsport was the original. Like, Horizon is the spinoff. And like, there's a conversation to be had of like, how often does that happen? When the spinoff studio makes something that just overtakes the original to the point where it's like, oh yeah, I guess the original thing's coming out. I'm here for the spinoff.
Yeah, it's rare, but I mean, I feel like not fully, but like Fallout, kind of like New Vegas,
that's
right?
Right. Yeah, New
like,
Vegas definitely. But
the other one still stayed big. But I mean, well, that's the thing, baby. Forza Motorsport stayed big too. Horizon's like 3 times bigger than Motorsport.
Yeah, I was gonna say, from the ancillary things that I'm googling right now, it doesn't seem like it.
And that makes sense.
Great.
That entirely makes sense. Persona is a great example, a very good example of a spin-off.
Oh, from Shin Megami Tensei. Yeah, that's a really good one. But I asked that about Forza Motorsport because then we get into a conversation of, is that like that is giving competition then to Gran Turismo, and does that become a conversation of like PlayStation being like, oh man, like Forza Motorsport, I don't, and this is to the racing sickos in chat of, and maybe we got to call him Mike because I don't know which is like the better.
I mean, the
sim
thing
racer.
Is, Gran Turismo, I think, just has a cachet to it with a community that I don't. At a certain point, I don't think it's about the quality of the game. Mm-hmm. I think it's about their Gran Turismo player.
I agree with that, yeah.
And I think that is probably representative of, I would probably say, the majority of the very large fan base of Gran Turismo players, but like they're in that shit. Like that is their world. So.
I definitely don't see Forza Motorsport coming to PlayStation and then overtaking Gran Turismo by any means, because that audience is so built in on the PlayStation side.
Exactly. So,
but yeah, I do think Forza Horizon is just a different beast, and so it's just interesting to think about.
Okay, let's get into story number 2. Story number 2 today is going to be a whole bunch of video game, movie, TV stuff. We got Beyond Two Souls video game is getting a TV series adaptation by Elliot Page's Pageboy. This comes from Nellie Andreeva at Deadline. Amid a resurgence of video game-based TV series with the success of Last of Us and Fallout, another popular gaming title, Beyond Two Souls, is getting a TV series adaptation. Elliot Page's Pageboy Productions has acquired the rights from video game developer Quantic Dream to develop a Beyond Two Souls television series. The game, which starred Page alongside Willem Dafoe, follows Jodie Holmes, a young woman messing up, with extraordinary supernatural abilities, who becomes entangled in a web of government conspiracies and otherworldly forces. The series adaptation, now in early development, is expected to explore the game's non-linear narrative, following Jodie's journey from government experiment to fugitive as she navigates her abilities and her connection to Aiden. Filming the game was one of the most challenging and fulfilling acting experiences of my career. The story's rich narrative and emotional depth offer us a fantastic foundation. We want to create a unique vision of the characters and their journeys that resonate with fans and newcomers.
I got many thoughts.
Hit me.
Can I reveal something about myself? That if you're a long time listener, you might already know this.
Yeah.
Because I've talked about this, right? I used to be a Quantic Dream sicko. When I played Heavy Rain back in the day, I fell in love with Heavy Rain. I couldn't wait for Beyond Two Souls, and I played Beyond Two. First of all, I watched those trailers. The E3 reveal for Beyond Two Souls went fucking hard. All right, and I don't believe anybody that says it didn't. The E3 trailer for Beyond Two Souls had me sold. No pun intended. And then I got the game. Didn't love Beyond Two Souls. I didn't like the non-linear storytelling of Beyond Two Souls. Then I went back and I played this game called Fahrenheit, Tim. I don't know if you remember Fahrenheit.
I don't remember Fahrenheit.
It was the Quantic Dream game before Heavy Rain on PS2. And it was similar. It was like one of these narrative, cinematic storytelling kind of games, supernatural as well. But I digress. Played that. And then I played Detroit Become Human, right? And again, like, I was a sicko. I was like, yo, I understand that these games aren't masterpieces, but there's something about just making choices that I like. There's something about being able to decide where these stories go, and like there's a fidelity that they do it with that like just appealed to me. Even though looking back, a lot of that shit didn't hit. Heavy Rain in retrospect, it was just story sucked, right? Like there's a lot we could talk about. That said, Beyond Two Souls as an adaptation feels like a step just too far, in my opinion, of we gotta adapt everything, like everything. Like we can't leave some video games like we gotta adapt everything. Did one person ask for a Beyond Two Souls?
I know one. Leanza. Leanza genuinely was so fucking excited when I told her yesterday. And she looked at me and she was like, man, this is so exciting. We got Elliot Page. We're going to get Willem Dafoe back. And I was like, Leanza, I don't think Willem Dafoe remembers that he was in this fucking game. Like, I don't think he has any memory.
He's down, man.
Oh, here's the thing, right?
In a show, in a TV show,
he was Ryukin the Death Note movie on Netflix.
It's a movie. He's not doing no TV series. He's not doing no fucking TV series.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. When was the last time Willem Dafoe was in a TV series?
I don't know. But I don't know, man. I could see it. You're right.
Yes.
However, Elliot Page. I think to me that's the X factor here of like who's asking this, why are they doing this? This doesn't read to me like it's coming from a grubby like what's a video game we have access to. This feels like a deliberate I want to do this. I'm going to acquire the rights to do this. I have passion for this. This matters to me, Which
is fair, and I totally believe that. I understand that. It's also weird. The weird thing of I remember the news stories about how Elliot Page didn't have a good time, like working on this game. Like there was just weird David Cage shit of like David Cage being creepy as far as like how he was like capturing models of Elliot Page, and like I don't know. There was like weird shit associated with it, and I forget if this was verbatim from Elliot Page or if this was like where this came from, but there were reports about Elliot Page not enjoying the development stuff.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. And so interesting, but also like people can change their mind, right? Like people can
take it back and make it how you want it.
Yeah, you could do that as well. And the one thing I will say is that even though I think there are a lot of things that Beyond Two Souls could have done way better as far as like the storytelling stuff, I could see that stuff being fixed in a TV show. And God, please just don't do the non-linear narrative thing. Like if they told this video game story,
they said that.
Oh, did they say they were doing that part? No, this shit's gonna be whack, man. This shit's gonna be whack.
Then next up, we have Simu Liu says he's working with the rights holders of Sleeping Dogs to bring it to cinema. Sleeping Dogs was so ahead of its time, it hardly aged even 2 generations later. Do you want to see a Sleeping Dogs 2? Rhino tweets that out, right? And then Zen Games 44 quote tweets it saying, I absolutely want Sleeping Dogs 2. If a Sleeping Dogs movie's happening, hopefully that will generate enough interest to warrant a sequel. At Simu Liu, are you? Why? If so, please work your magic. And the Simu replies, working with the rights holders to bring Sleeping Dogs to the big screen. Just very direct.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did we know he was connected to it before?
No.
So this guy was just like, hey, at Simu Liu, and Simu was like, yo, I'm on it.
He's mentioned, like, he likes the game, but, like, unless I'm missing something. But anyway, cool.
Cool.
Right? Like,
this is another one. Again, here's the thing. because these are, I could see them working. A Sleeping Dogs adaptation, like, yeah, yes, that makes sense. But also, again, it's just that we're too deep in the bag, is my thing.
I guess my thing is, like, with the too deep in the bag conversation,
we're going to have so many video game adaptations come out in the next 2 to 3 years.
I feel like we're deep in the bag, but we're not. My thing is, why does that matter? Like, it's not like there's a limit to how many good ones there can be or how many bad ones there can be. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not like superhero movies where it's like, oh man, it has to be an origin story that leads to a villain in the sky. It's like there's no similarities between Sleeping Dogs and Beyond Two Souls and Super Mario Brothers the movie. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like we are getting caught up in, there's too many video game movies. But like, people watching these movies the majority of them aren't like, these are video game movies.
I guess my problem with it is, like, why? Like, why are there so many of these? Like, does everything need to be an IP? Or can you make an original supernatural, like, ghost story? Or could you make a original undercover cop, like, martial arts movie?
The whole, like, oh man, we're so cooked, like that conversation to me is just so, like, trite and overdone. We got to be real and just call shit what it is. People don't care about books anymore. They care about video games. We've been adapting books forever, like original IP movies, so few and far between. Like, yes, there's a ton of them, but when you relatively, when you look at the numbers of movies of consequence that came out, even in the 80s and 90s, all the original IP movie eras, how many a year were coming out? And then you compare it to now, like, how many more movies are even coming out? There's so much more. The numbers, all the numbers are up, right? They're adapted books. We're running out of good books, okay? We're out of books. Let's move on to and then here's the comic books. Let's adapt the fuck out of those. What's next? We now have decades of video games that have stories. I don't even want to say rich stories. We have a handful of games with rich stories.
Yeah.
And then we have just a lot of games that have stories that people can kind of adapt and turn into a screenplay. And there's the added bonus of it built in some level of familiarity in marketing, and you go from there. But like, things haven't changed. Just the medium transitions and what they're pulling from has changed. But video games are just relevant to a mainstream in terms of storytelling in the way that previously comic books were and previously books were.
Yeah, I guess to that I say I do think there are better stories for, like, even better video game stories to adapt from than Beyond Two Souls and Sleeping Dogs. I think Sleeping Dogs is a great video game, but like, is the story worth adapting? Right? Is this something worth, like, putting on the big screen and, like, like, is it a story worth telling, or is it a video game worth playing because the gameplay is fun?
Yeah, I mean, that's I think you can apply that to many movies that were based on books as well, and some made it work and some didn't, and some changed the book enough to make it worth telling, even if it was in the beginning. And I kind of think that's the thing, the way that they're looking at it here is like, cool, there might not have been much here that's worth it, but we can kind of make it worth it, or we'll just get a bunch of shovelware movies like we did in the late 2000s of getting the Hitman movies and Assassin's Creed and all that stuff. They won't do well. The market will speak, and they'll stop doing these things.
Yeah.
But that's not where we're at right now. These things are doing well, and they're hitting right, and there seems to be the right level of love and care being put into them, because the people making these things are treating them like, we need to make movies here. Because I don't think that they're thinking we need to make a video game movie. They're like, we need to make movies. They're just looking at video games the way that they used to look at books.
I just hope
not even used to. They still do.
Yeah.
But
I guess I also just get the fear of, like, too many of these hitting in not the right way, right? Like, a bunch of these movies come out, and oh man, the Beyond Two Souls TV show, oh man, that was trash. The Sleeping Dogs movie was whack. Oh man, the Sifu movie could have been better. Which, actually, I take that back. That's gonna be fire. But like, enough of these, I feel like, could stack up, and I'm scared of the DM breaking and it being this shit didn't work. Like, let's move on from video game movies. We're not doing these things anymore. And I just want it to be more of like a concerted, hey, like, let's pick the good, like, what are the movies we need to make from video games, and like, let's tell the stories we're telling. Let's not make everything, because I get scared of it just blowing up.
Yeah. We'll see how this all goes.
We'll see.
Let's get to story number 3. Spectacular announcements and reveals are set for Summer Game Fest 2025. This comes from Andy Robinson at VGC. SGF has announced its event days and plans for this year, including traditional stage show, its media days, supplemented with a new business event. The 2-hour Summer Game Fest kickoff live will be Friday, June 6th, Gia's birthday, at its usual venue of the YouTube Theater in Los Angeles, California, with spectacular new video game announcements, surprises, and reveals. The showcase will be followed by the annual Playdays invite-only media event, which will run June 7th through 9th, produced by I Am 8-Bit. And then new for this year is business-to-business event curated by former GamesIndustry.biz boss and regular VGC contributor Christopher Dring.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Good for Chris.
Featuring producer Jeff Keighley, organizers say this event will delve into some of the key changes, challenges, and opportunities facing the global video game industry, as well as celebrate the cultural impact and importance of video games as the most powerful form of entertainment in the world. SGF adds that its B2B event will feature thought leaders from gaming, entertainment, and beyond, bringing multiple industries together on stage for insightful discussions. Cool. That sounds like a step in the right direction for what I feel like SGF kind of needs from our side of the curtain.
Yeah, it seems like I read this as them filling a hole left by E3, right? Of like E3 being the place, in that June period where you're getting game announcements, you're getting all these things, but then you're also getting those business things happening. And so when E3 now is, permanently canceled, permanently with asterisk, like
Crazy.
Wild, right? It happened.
It happened, y'all. We're in a post E3
We're in a post E3 world. Yeah, Summer Game Fest stepping up and being like, okay, cool, we're going to do what we've been doing well in the last few years, but now let's add this business-to-business element to try and satisfy like more of the people involved in the games industry and hopefully create build a space to where the industry can continue to grow and benefit off of this.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited. I hope that goes well, and I expect that it will, because I feel like I've been very, very impressed on the media side of how Jeff has ran Summer Game Fest and Play Days and all of that the last couple of years, and I want to see it continue to grow in the direction and speed at which it's growing, because I do think that there is a jump the shark moment where it's like, oh, E3's back in the wrong ways.
That'd be a good conversation to have, maybe on like it could be GameScast or something.
Yeah.
Where do we see Jeff Keighley and Summer and like all of his events going? Like 10 years from now, what size and scope do you see? Like, what do you think would be the dream case scenario for how he's growing everything? Because it seems like he is consistently trying to up the ante every year.
Let's do that. That sounds like a great GamesCast. Sounds like a big one though. That might take a lot of time. It might take a lot of thoughts, brain power, just big stuff. But if I didn't want to know about big stuff, if I wanted to know about the smallest little news stories of the day, where would I look?
You'd go to our last news story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
First one here on Wii News. Overwatch 2's average Steam player count has dropped 39% since Marvel Rivals was released.
Insane.
You still playing Marvel Rivals?
Yes. Like when I have the time, to the story, right? Like my own anecdotal thing is the Overwatch crew that I was playing with every Monday. It's my friend Sarah and like some of her friends. I join periodically, not all the time. Ever since Marvel Rivals came out, they've only been on Marvel Rivals.
So only
been on Marvel. They've not gone
checking in, doing like dailies, weeklies, or whatever? I don't know what Overwatch does.
No, they're not touching Overwatch right now.
Wow.
Every Monday, because it's always Mondays. Every Monday, they're playing Marvel Rivals.
Man.
It seems like this is what the vibe is for the time being. I'm very fascinated to see like months from now, is it still the case? Like, does Marvel Rivals taper out at all, or does it ride strong? Right now, Marvel Rivals seems strong.
It's Overwatch.
Yeah, it's Overwatch.
From VGC, the Video Game History Foundation has now made its digital library system available to the public as promised last week. Available in early access form, the library is available to browse on the website, but is currently suffering timeout errors due to demand. Amazing stuff. Being able to go back and look at every video game magazine ever made. The amount of work put into this is unbelievable, and this is such Tim Geddes shit.
I cannot wait to check this out.
So cool. Oh my God, I had that Game Informer with the Mortal Kombat logo on it. That's amazing.
What is that?
If I'm being honest with you guys, I can admit this now because I feel like it's been enough years and I won't go to jail. I stole this from my library.
Oh my God. I mean, I get it though. I would do the same.
I'm sorry, I lost it. I lied. I really lied. I just look at that cover, man.
You got to keep that. I'm with you.
I was naughty.
Listen, sometimes you got to steal. like, it just happens sometimes, Bad.
From GameSpot today, WWE and Netflix announced the next chapter in their partnership, which will see the WWE 2K video game franchise come to mobile devices via the Netflix game service later this year. PlayStation's anniversary themes are leaving, but they'll be back. Here's CM Punk. He's talking about it. He's like, hey, man. Netflix. We're on Netflix now.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about here,
right in the palm of your hands.
We got a mobile game. It's coming to phones on Netflix.
It's a good impression.
Thanks. That's my best CM Punk.
Yeah. This boy be talking, man.
That's
God,
my CM Punk.
dude, did you see the promo on Monday?
Yes, I did. Come on. Come on. He's
It's
gonna
holy
win.
Shit.
It's just unbelievable how good at talking he is. I was watching a podcast, I forget which one it was, and they said something that I'm like, you put this into such better words than I ever could. When CM Punk and Cody were in the ring, and CM Punk's just talking and talking and talking, it is dead silent in the arena.
Yep.
You don't hear a single thing. They're not reacting. They're not because they care about what he's saying.
They are locked in, lingering on every word.
That silence is something you never hear in WWE.
Yep.
CM Punk has that power. That's fucking cool,
Yeah, man. Also, I was very satisfied with the booing of Logan Paul the entire segment. The
And
entire
New Day
segment.
stuff, the shirts.
The New Day. Oh my.
Come on. PlayStation's anniversary themes are leaving. Boo. But they're coming back.
Yay.
PlayStation tweets out, thank you for the fantastic response to the classic PS, PS2, PS3, and PS4 limited time console themes, which will be leaving tomorrow. Due to the positive response on these 4 themes, we're doing some work behind the scenes to bring these special designs back in the months ahead. Amazing news, a little bit weird, but I also think that this is a perfect example of how weird back-end shit can be sometimes. Because, like, why isn't it just available now? Why isn't it just like, hey, they're available forever? Clearly there's some reason.
Maybe they're gonna fix it because they're like kind of half-baked. Like, you know what I mean? Like the PlayStation 2 one, like would cover up all of the artwork. Like they just need to fix it. Like just give me the sound effect.
I agree with that.
Come on.
Who would have thought that people like themes?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Nintendo, come on.
And PlayStation. Like, man, I miss the PS4 by Final Fantasy VII era music in the background.
Come on.
Oh, come on. Bring it back.
From game developer, 2 weeks after Sony canceled its in-development live service game, Bend Studio has laid off an unknown number of contractors. Several designers contracted to work on the unannounced game have revealed they were recently let go or will be laid off after February 14th, Valentine's Day. These workers were part of Ben's level and system design team. One designer stated Ben made the decision to prematurely rescind all ongoing contracts except for a select few that will be hired full-time. Devil May Cry is premiering on Netflix on April 3rd. I'm incredibly freaking excited. Adi Shankar's been going off on social media.
Oh, has he?
I think this thing's going to be incredibly special.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's going to be a lot, and I'm stoked for it. Date Everything has been delayed to June. Overwatch 2 Spotlight is set for February 12th at 10 a.m. And that's it for Wii News. Let's see what we got in You're Wrong. The Banderas Head says William Dafoe was in 3 episodes of the TV show The Kingdom in 2022, and that's the most TV he's ever been in.
Holy shit.
Wow.
See?
Well,
I knew it.
I'm
William.
pleased to announce here that in 2026, that's all going to change. Willem Dafoe coming to your TV on what streaming service? I don't know, but it's probably one you don't have.
What if it's just on like NBC?
Yeah,
Like prime time,
Yeah.
8 p.m. NBC.
I love it, man. That's
It's
how
on
they get
FX.
Dafoe in.
Actually, I would love it if it was on FX.
And then Benner sends us some missed news. Prince of Persia: Lost Crown sold 1.3 million copies, according to a deleted dev LinkedIn post. That's so fucking sad. I really think that game could have
Oh,
sold.
the Lost Crown.
Yeah.
I thought they were talking about the other one, the Rogue one, Roguelite.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way it sold that many.
Yeah.
I was like, 1.3 million? That's
Yeah.
crazy. Oh,
Man,
yeah,
it sucks
Lost
'cause
Crown should have sold more.
Lost Crown would have sold more if it was on Steam day one, man. I'm telling you, that's the killing fucking factor for that game. Breaks my heart.
Damn.
You know what makes me feel good though? Like I've been doing this shit for a long time, and every once in a while there'll be something that people are like, "Okay, I'm actually gonna listen to Tim, and I appreciate it." And like I'll hear, "Oh, Tim, you sold me an OLED. It was the best purchase I ever made." Blah blah blah. I know. Thank you. You're welcome. The amount of people that tweet at me about Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, and it's always "You were right. Thank you," something like that. What I love about it though is it's a trickle effect. I get a tweet like that once every couple of days, and it always makes me happy. I'm like, you know what? Someone out there's having a good day. They're
Somebody's
playing
out there
a
having the
great
time
game.
of their life right now, and
Awesome
I made that
stuff.
happen.
Very cool. Let's get to some super chats before we close out Games Daily here. Diego says, Tim, hear me out. What if the new Mario Kart is Mario Kart Maker and use the Joy-Cons like a mouse so it's easier to build the tracks? I think that's going too far. I feel like maybe that being a spin-off game, sure. Mario Kart's too big to get that cute.
Hear me out though. Tony Hawk did it. You make skate parks.
Yeah.
That, like, think about that tool set.
Yeah.
Think about like just the fucking you lock that part.
I mean,
in.
yeah, you're right. Like, especially if you keep it because what we've seen so far, which is very limited, and I don't think we should go off of it. It doesn't have the like crazy ass like upside down and like the gravity shit.
Yeah.
So it's like if it is more SNES style courses where it's a little more flat, like that'd be fairly easy to like kind of design. But
it's just, it doesn't feel Nintendo though.
yeah,
Like,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Mara says Invincible Season 3 in 1 week. Some of the best storylines Invincible has to offer. Let's go. Any plans for screencast for the 3-episode premiere? Unfortunately, due to just stupid timing and scheduling and who's here and who's not, we won't be able to do a screencast for the premiere. But Greg is going to give his thoughts on a Gregway. I know that for the premiere. I want to try to do something during the season, but no promises. But it really depends on how up to date everyone watches it. But I will be watching week to week. I'm incredibly excited, and I'm sure Greg's going to try as well. But he has this kid, you know.
Oh yeah.
God, if I had
This
a nickel.
kid.
Trevor says, for people that have not watched Aliens in Review, it's an absolute must. Best in Review episode. Real talk. Aliens, so far, Alien and Aliens in Review, back-to-back bangers. But Aliens in Review, you need to watch the first 5 minutes, even if you're not interested in the rest of it. It's a lot. Have you seen the first 5 minutes? Do you know what happens?
We have the monitor
Yeah.
out, so like I saw parts of it. I didn't hear what happened, but
You don't need
I think
to.
seeing it was enough.
It was enough. It was enough. Then we got... Devin Carter says, when do we see an Xbox game on PlayStation Plus?
I mean, we've seen a PlayStation game on Xbox Game Pass, so that will be the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something like that, right? Like I feel like it'll be like a Minecraft. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Minecraft's like the cheat code
Yeah.
with all this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is totally the realm of possibility. Like we're at the point that they're just going to start acting like it'll be as likely to see an Xbox game as a Ubisoft game.
Man. what a world we live in.
It's a good thing, man. Like,
I mean, I agree,
yeah,
yeah.
we just got to move forward, everybody. Alex J. Sandoval says you can extrapolate sales to a rough number. Subscription costs are so variable. X million players can't really be extrapolated by cognizant ballpark. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. You just use fancier words that make you sound way more intelligible than me. I'm a dum-dum. Violet's Archive writes in saying, it's official. In the ever-present eyes of Social Security, I'm officially a girl. Gender marker changed to female today, and I had to celebrate.
Wow.
Congratulations,
That's awesome.
Violet.
Love
Awesome
that.
stuff. Thank you for hanging out with us. Jacob writes in saying, I hope story number whatever today will be a next trailer announcement because I feel like I can't wait any longer.
A what trailer announcement?
Next trailer announcement.
Next.
I don't know.
Next. I'm going to look this up. Do you think it's a video game, movie, or something worse?
I hope it's a video game adaptation of the show Next.
Or something
Or
worse.
something sinister.
Flying Penguin says, do we ever see the Xbox app on PS5, Game Pass on PS5? That's the dream. That'll never happen. That doesn't make business sense. When you start thinking it through, you just immediately hit a wall.
Wait, sorry. Can you say that again?
Game Pass on PS5.
Oh, yeah, man. This is something that I was like trying to push, like in my theory status a few years ago. And now that we're here, you're right. Like it's tough to see it on the implementation side
Because of PlayStation.
Yeah.
Why would they allow that?
Why would they allow it? And then also in what form would that happen in? Because I guess I know Ubisoft has stuff and EA has like a pass system. I guess I need to do research.
Yeah.
I need to go into those on PlayStation and see exactly how that stuff works.
Yeah. It is very interesting of like, this is definitely a conversation. We should do a GamesCast with this. We should grab me, you, Mike, and Greg. I think is the right crew for this. I want us to talk about how Xbox Play Anywhere can and cannot apply to PlayStation 5. What functions of it where it's like, cool, this can and will work this way, and this can't work because of this, or this might work because of that.
Interesting. Because like for me, the straightforward thing is, I think the Xbox games will be playable, but I think it'll stop at that.
But that sucks because Ubisoft games have deeper integration. Other third parties have deeper
Like what kind of deeper
integrations.
integration?
I mean, like the Play Anywhere or
I
the
guess,
Ubi Play. Not
yeah,
Play Anywhere,
because when you boot up, okay, I see what you're saying. Because when you boot up a Ubisoft game, you'll get like the Ubisoft stuff.
Yeah.
that you can do.
Yeah, but
So
we'll
Xbox
have
would
to
have
save
to change.
this.
Yeah, Xbox I think would have to change how that stuff works then. 'Cause
That's what I'm saying.
All the Xbox stuff is on the OS side, so you would have to. Yeah, you're right. Okay, we can figure this out.
Joe Ferrelli says, I think we need the sicko shirt in the store. Officially KFBF lexicon status.
Yeah, let's go. We did it. Me and Barrett.
Sleeping Dogs is just a Jet Life movie.
Jet Li is what I think they meant. Listen, all right? Sometimes we make typos.
Oh, I
know?
thought that Tim misread that.
No,
Sorry.
yeah.
That's why I
gotta
was
be
laughing at
honest,
you. I was
Roger,
laughing
the
at
way
them.
you laughed, I knew you were laughing at me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
was
that was
laughing at you
something
for
I was
sure.
like, Roger was laughing at me, and I was like, but I didn't fuck it up. And then you laughed at me with so much assurance that I was like, I must have fucked something up. It's Jet Li. Okay, yeah, they misspelled it. Okay, Jet Li. That makes
Still
sense.
laughing at you, Tim.
Yell 6 it's time for that. And no, I appreciate it. I mean, you got to call me out. Luke Kunka says, can you call Andy on stage and give him this $20? And he's not here, but I would. Because he deserves it for the Aliens plot song. God damn, what a banger. Andy outdid himself yesterday for the plot song in Aliens in Review. Y'all need to go check it out. It also got us claimed, so we are not making any money from the video. So thank you for this $20. He was so good at singing that it got claimed.
That's awesome.
He recreated the song. Like
I need to watch that part.
So
also,
good.
shout out to the Yell Singing chat who misspelled Jet Life. Commented in chat and was like, "Thank you, Bless, for understanding." I'm not gonna lie. When I started the sentence, I was gonna say some of us are not bright. But then halfway through the sentence, I was like, that's mean.
Still said it anyways.
So I just want to let you know that I changed that for you, Yell Sing.
Oh my God. And then
Some of us make typos.
The final one today, Norman says, some other PS5 racing game news. Last week, GT Planet estimated that GT7 has sold 14.4 million units based on new franchise financial data.
Man, GT7 out here just fucking like killing. Gran Turismo is a franchise. Just making it rain over there at PlayStation.
Insane stuff, man. Big numbers.
Just
big numbers, everybody.
Huge numbers.
Speaking of big, we're going big right after this. It's going to be a big old GAMESCAST followed by a big old Spider-Man review followed by a big old stream. The day's just beginning, y'all. Thank you for hanging out with us. Until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.